All those years, just one major injury. I cut my little finger off in a miter box, and they were lucky enough to sew it back on. And I remember that was on my birthday in 1977.
So they give you like a 50-50 chance. You're like, hey, we're sewing this on there, and if it doesn't turn black, you're good to go.
Yeah, I brought it to the hospital in my hanky. And it was a terrible day. I'll never forget it. We were trimming. I was working with a gentleman named Dalton that worked for my brother. I just changed my miter box blade at lunchtime and put in a nice 100-tooth carbide for fine cutting. And I went back and cut it off. And I remember saying, "Hey, Dalton, we got to go." We were right by Providence Hospital down in the city, right in the city in Southfield. I said, "Brian, we got to go to the hospital." And he said, "What's the matter?" I said, "Because I got my finger in my hanky."
Welcome to another episode of Small Town Grit. I'm your host, Corey Haubs, and I have a special guest with me today, my father-in-law, John Pichè. Welcome.
Thank you.
I know everybody would want Lisa here, so you're the closest thing we can get right now. Yeah, I'm super excited to have you on here. You just announced retirement and stepped away from your business after 26 years.
Yeah, 27 years.
27 years. Congratulations on that. That's a uphill battle every day, isn't it?
Yep, it surely was.
Yeah. How's retirement already? I mean, you're only
5 days into it.
5 days into it. Hey, that's the best. That's the best time.
Well, I slept into 8:00 one day, 8:30 the other. But I was up early the other couple of days.
Yeah.
So still got a few things to wrap up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. You know, Sue's got a long list of things for me to do. So
the never-ending honey-do list at home, right?
Exactly.
Are you stressed out about stepping away?
No. Actually, it was time.
Okay.
It got to the point where it was time. Things have changed so much in this industry in the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm not really computer savvy, and so it was time. I mean, I can turn it on and shut it off, and I can do things like that, but as far as everything is going computer and everything now, just like this podcast, we never had anything like that. I mean, I'm going to be 75. It's time to hang it up.
It's fortunate, in our industry, in the construction industry, I mean, your body takes a toll.
Yeah.
I mean, at what point throughout the process there that you were hands-on to kind of stepping back and managing? I mean,
yeah. Probably the last 5 years I've been backed off and done more management than I was doing hands-on. But up till then, it was more, a lot of hands-on. I used to set trusses and all the time, but I don't walk walls anymore, and I don't go up on roofs anymore. No, I don't. I wouldn't do that. So that made it. It just made it easier to back away.
Yeah.
And I want to travel, do a little traveling. We got that motorhome, and I don't want to be crippled and not be able to do that.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty fortunate the last few years, not having anything really major other than a knee replacement and back surgery and.
Yeah, those are just minor things.
So, and that stuff always catches up with you eventually. So
let's step back in the early days. So, I don't know a lot.
I started when I come from a big family with Corey knows. I have 6 brothers and 3 sisters. So there was 10 of us. And my dad had the construction part of it. He started in 32. So, and he was more remodeling somewhat and a lot of custodial kind of stuff back then. And then when my brother Bob and Paul took it over, they took it over actually. They worked with my dad up till 68. In 68, they took the business over. And when I got out of high school in 68, I worked with them. That was for a few years, work with them. Then I went with my other brother out to Minnesota for a few years and farmed with him. And then I came back in 76 and then went back to work for my brothers and worked with them till...
because you were in Mayville at that time?
No.
Okay,
I moved back from Minnesota.
Okay.
And bought the place in Minnesota in Mayville in 77.
Okay.
And that's when I moved up here in 77. And then still worked for them in the city, driving from Mayville to Royal Oak every day. Their office is in Royal Oak. And they had, and that was, back then it was an hour drive. And then as the years progressed, it got to be longer and longer. So I did some farming on the side. And then in 82, I quit with my brothers, and we raised hogs for 8 years till I had a fire in '89, and we lost our farrowing, our nursery. We lost most of our buildings, and the hog business hadn't been that great up to then. We had 150 sows, and we were a feeder pig operation. So I decided to go back to doing what I knew how to do. So I went back doing construction, and then I did a lot of work in the Mayville area. And then in '77, I incorporated, in 97, I incorporated and opened up JT Pichè Company.
Oh, okay.
And that's where it went from there. So most of our work was in the Mayville area, Tuscola County, some Huron County, a little bit in Lapeer County, but mostly Tuscola County is where we did a lot of remodeling, and then we started to build houses too.
Yeah.
So we had quite a few. We actually, over the year, I was looking at the other day when I was moving out with some files and stuff. I had quite a few guys go through that place over the years.
Yeah.
You don't realize it till you start looking, start throwing away files.
Thank you to our sponsors. IRD Homes, Mid-Michigan's top contractor, bringing new builds and renovations to life. Timber Oaks. Timber Oaks offers customized lawn and landscape solutions and is a premier Mid-Michigan lawn care company. Link Excavation, your Mid-Michigan excavating experts, serving Bay, Tuscola, Saginaw, Huron, and Genesee counties. Yeah, talking about these dates, like 77. I'm like, you look back and you're like, holy cow, man, I'm a seasoned veteran, right?
It was like, yeah, no kidding. And I really only all those years, just one major injury. I cut my little finger off in a miter box, and they were lucky enough to sew it back on. And I remember that was on my birthday in 1977.
So they give you like a 50-50 chance. You're like, hey, we're sewing this on there, and if it doesn't turn black, you're good to go.
Yeah, I brought it to the hospital in my hanky, and it was a terrible day. I'll never forget it. We were trimming. I was working with a gentleman named Dalton that worked for my brother, and I remember I just changed my miter box blade at lunchtime and put in a nice 100-tooth carbide for fine cutting, and I went back and cut it off, and I remember saying, "Hey, Dalton, we got to go we were right by Providence Hospital down in the city, right in the city in Southfield." I said, "Brian, we got to go to the hospital." And he said, "What's the matter?" I said, "Because I got my finger in my hanky." And we got to the hospital, and it was really, really bad. And they couldn't, all the surgeons were tied up, and so they put my finger in the little thing and waited for the surgeon to come in, and he sewed it back on. He was very, very, very good. He had little tiny fingers. I remember that. And he sewed it back on, and I remember after they healed up, and that's actually when I moved up to Mayville because I was off work and I had time to look, and that's when we found the place where we were at in Mayville, and I remember going back to him for my checkup, and they took the bandage off, and my finger was like straight out, and I said, "I can't. You're gonna have to cut. I can't do that," because I said every time you stick your hand in your pouch, you get your finger cut. And he said, "Go home and get a tennis ball, poke some holes in it, and just start doing that." And I did that, and probably in 6 weeks it's back, and it's still good. Yeah. It doesn't go closed, but it's still good.
Yeah. Yeah. My grandpa, he trimming too. He's got one less finger too. Yeah. He didn't get that one sewed back on. So
yeah. I was pretty fortunate, really. We were fortunate that we were close to the hospital then too. We were only a mile away maybe from Providence. So over the years, you have your few stitches here and there, but I shot my finger with a nail gun and stuff like that. But anything major, that was the majorest part. Get my finger cut off.
Yeah.
And I remember calling. I was married to Rita then. I called Rita and I said, we were supposed to go out and I said, "I won't be able to go out." My brother Paul called her and said, "He won't be able to go out tonight." And she said, "Why?" He said, "Because he cut his finger off." Well, she thought I was joking.
Oh, she thought you were just joking?
We were joking. Yeah, he cut his finger off.
On your birthday, yeah.
Okay.
But it was true.
So one thing I admire about you is, we talk about small town grit here, and from Mayville, there's a population of like 900, maybe a little bit more back then. What kind of challenges did you have being in such a rural area?
Well, really, once you started doing work and people knew what kind of work you did, it wasn't bad. It really wasn't, And I got involved with the city, and stuff, and people knew me. and Chamber of Commerce. We were just started that up back then, and word of mouth. And that's basically, we really never advertised a lot. It was just word of mouth. And we do a job for somebody, and then their cousin needs some work done, or and that's basically how it worked. So yeah.
Yeah, so you're probably like really thrown off about the social media world of what it is today.
Yeah, I mean, if we did something bad, we probably didn't hear about it. Not like today. If you screw something up, everybody, and it's, if you're in business, that you can do 100 nice jobs, but you do one thing or screw up one thing, and that's what everybody hears about.
Right.
Everybody hears about that. They don't hear about all the nice stuff you do. You always hear about. And we always did a lot of stuff like for the historical society in town. They'd have to call, and we go did a lot of free work. I mean, seriously, and that always helps too, because people, that you kind of give back to the community and
yeah, like I remember you guys went to school and put playground equipment together.
The
Grove.
Yep. We built the things down at the Grove. We did, so. But that kind of stuff always helps.
And I think that was good for me, like seeing you do that, giving back to your community, being involved. It was.
Yeah, people don't realize.
I just look at it like, oh, that's normal. John's doing that. That's what I got to go do. So.
Well, and it does help because people see it's just more exposure, and just leave your truck there with your name on it, and kind of helps. And people and they do most of the free stuff when you do like that. They acknowledge it, that it's been donated or whatever. So that always helps. But you get involved. I was involved in the township, the planning commission, and that word gets around too when you're in stuff involved like that. But now with social media, I don't know if it would make a difference. It's hard to say,
So a little transition here now that you call there a day that we're kind of absorbing a little bit of that traffic for your business. So we're trying to keep that legacy of that you started going as well. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, like I say, most people, I'd say all the years we've had, I don't know how many customers, a lot, but most of them are really, really good people. I only had one bad check in all the years, and they did finally cover it, and that was pretty. And that was actually from a corporation company. And of all the years, all the checks I've taken, I only had one that actually bounced, but it was a substantial amount of money. It was like whoa, and it was like But like I say, people on the whole are pretty good,
Yeah, that's one thing I like about our area. There's just good people around here. I mean, and in being in the business is like a lot of these clients that we have end up becoming our friends. Yeah,
right, exactly.
Keeping in contact and.
Yep, it didn't seem like it was that long ago, but it didn't seem like I was 56 years out of school either.
Yeah, John's going to his reunion later today. 56 years. That doesn't date you, does it?
Huh?
That doesn't
date me
you.
too much. No.
You got like a memorial, like a project that you're like, oh man, that's one of our best projects we did, or houses, or you got one of those that just stand out. Be like, if I had to build another house.
Tom Collins' house was probably one of the nicer ones.
Yeah, Tom's was a good house. Yeah,
Tom's was a nice house. I mean, I don't know. Our houses were more simple. I mean, they were more of a starter type houses, what they call today, compared to what some of the stuff you build. Most of the people were just either retiring, or it seemed like most of them were retiring and moving up here, so we didn't have any really fancy, great big houses.
Is it, you look back and you probably think about, pricing, especially after COVID. I mean, pricing went
crazy.
Do you remember what you started out building a house at square foot right now?
Yeah, you know what? 24 by 40, 960 square foot house. We were building them for 75,000, maybe something like that.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that nuts? It is. It's crazy.
Can't even get closed in for that.
Huh?
Can't even get closed in for that.
No. And that's what I said. I have a hard time when I used to do estimates. I look at this and say, man, the ad machine must be off. This can't cost this much money,
Yeah.
But I know houses that we did, like Mills' house over there. It was like 236,000 or something it was back then, and now that house would probably be $500,000.
Yeah.
and it's just, I just have a hard time comprehending it.
Yeah. Well, I used to do a lot of quoting, and Dan does that for us now, but he's current because you guys stay current on those pricing because they're always changing. And I'm like, so like people a couple years ago were like, hey, give me a price on this. So I give them a price, and I'm like, I was using prices from before COVID, and I was like, holy cow, same thing. I'm checking my calculator. I'm like, is this right? Yeah. Because I feel bad. I'm like, I always look at like, would I pay that?
Yeah. Would you pay for it? Exactly. Right. Well, I just threw away a couple books when that I'd gotten from my brother Mark. Actually, one of them was 2003, one of them was 2004, and one of them was 2002. And they were a book with the pricing from all different It was like a remodeler's book for tearing out building. And I looked at that and I thought, my God, you can't even buy. They used to charge for the labor, material, and everything. You can't even buy the material for it nowadays for what the whole thing was. Yeah. So, like in a little, they had just an addition, like a 1-bedroom tie-on the side of a house addition, and it was, like $28,000. Well, you can't even do it. Yeah. You can't even do it. And that's 20 years ago. So them were 20 years ago prices. So,
and we talk about that in our meetings here. It's like, we offer benefits and retirement and things that, everybody deserves here. But it's like at some point in our area or demographics, I can only charge so much.
That's exactly right. That's right. You're not down in the city where they'll pay it. But and that's another thing I never could understand was that my insurance costs the same on my truck as it does if you live in Royal Oak. But we're not supposed to charge as much for our up here, So, and how much is a person worth? Are they worth more because they live in the city than they do up here? No, they're not. But you got a talented person and you need to pay them, and that's just the way it is. And
even technology, like on equipment, nail guns.
When I started, we were shingling with just hand shingling. If you could do 3 bundles in an hour, you were doing good. 3 bundles in an hour, and now they do 9 bundles in an hour, or 10 or 12 bundles with a nailing gun. Yeah, I mean, definitely. But there's only so much you can innovate. You still, you still have to have the know-how to do stuff, and it's still going to be, I don't see them. I know the workman's comp guys, they always want you to build all those roofs with trusses on the ground and then lift them up in sections. I mean, that's just not practical. Right. I never thought it could be practical. A big barn, you're going to put 3 sections of trusses all together on the ground and then pull them up. No way. So
I just love tearing out trim from the old days when they're hand driving those trim nails. I'm like, how do they do this?
That's what we did. Yeah. You got 3, 4s, 8s. Yeah, that's how I started. Yeah. That's how I started hand driving it off. That's why, things just took a little longer back then. But you can go in and trim a house in 2 days now with the guns and stuff.
Right.
And you had a week there if you were hand nailing everything. Just like the oak flooring and stuff. You used to hand drive all that. I remember when I first started, we'd literally hand drive oak flooring with a finish nail. You had a wood hammer with the end was drilled out and it was filled with wax, and you tip the nail in there and then drive it. Little tricks of the trade.
Good old days.
Good old days. Yeah, they weren't so good. I don't know. I mean, that's all we knew. Yeah. So that's all you know. That's all it is. Yep.
So what's retirement life? What do you got? I know you like to.
Retirement's gonna be a change. I mean, I'm gonna miss the people. I mean, I'm kind of a people person, and I'm probably gonna miss some of that. If I have to find a coffee place to go to or something.
Yeah, we got coffee here. Come every morning. So
find a restaurant that serves coffee every morning.
We can find a few things for you to do. But that's the good thing about retirement. You don't have to find. You don't have to.
No, don't have to do it.
Right.
No, I'm sure I'll stay busy enough to. The gun club thinks I'm going to be their full-time maintenance guy down there now. So.
Well, good. Anything else you want to highlight of your 27 years?
Yeah, 27 years with.
What's the biggest struggle that you recall as a business
owner?
In
2007, 2008, when it.
Yeah, that's when I started.
Bad time hit. Yeah, we built that in 2003. I built a little strip mall there in Mayville. It was going to be my retirement. Money. Well, that in 2007 they took care of that. So and then Yeah, them were the tough years. I mean, they were tough.
Well, even COVID, I mean, kind of shut us down for a while.
That didn't affect me as much as 2007, 2008 did. So we had a couple of 2010, 9, 10, we had a couple of people I knew through being an organization, their houses burnt down. And so we got to build them new houses. And he said that we had 3 in 3 years. And somebody said I must be paying the arsonist, but I wasn't paying the arsonist. But I'm sure you guys are, going good now. But you got to just watch it because it can change in a hurry. You got to. It sounds like you're right on top of that stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing. We're expanding and growing, right. And it's like, at what point is it too much? What point is it not enough? And it's give and take back and forth.
Right.
And I think about it every day. It's like I don't want to overextend ourselves, but at the same time, we need that to grow. And it's just it's in a catch.
Exactly.
And I know a lot of people during the election year, they're always like, you never know what's going to happen. But at some point, you still got to run your business.
Yeah,
so.
That's right. You got to keep doing it. As long as people got money, that's the main thing. I mean, and you like you say, you just got you'll know when it's time to pull the horns back a little bit or keep going.
That's why I married Lisa. So she was like, whoa.
Lisa's a whoa.
Yeah,
she's got the reins.
Yeah. She keeps me in check.
Yeah, they said, what was the only thing I was really worried about was when Lisa told me she was going to marry you. And I really wasn't. Corey, you're a great guy. Corey's helped me out a lot with Prince and over the years and helped me a lot. So, but he was a good catch for her. He was.
I got that on tape.
yeah, that's right. That's fine.
Yeah, we married 19 years this year, next month.
Is it really? Is it been 19, that long?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I know.
I can't believe that. Holy cow. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how old she's going to be on Monday, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Closer to 50, let's just say that.
Yeah, let's just say, yeah. She was only like 30 when you got married, so figure it out.
Right.
29, actually.
Yep.
But,
well, cool.
All right.
I appreciate you coming in.
No problem.
I appreciate you. I've looked up for you since I've known you. And I'm excited for your next steps in retirement.
Yeah. If I get bored, I'll call you.
I got plenty of stuff for you. So.
I don't think I'll be bored for a while. I got quite a bit. Well, I appreciate it.
Yes. Thanks,
Thank
John.
you very much. Yes.